Today I'm cooking Ayamase. Some people call it Ofada soup, some people call it designer stew. This is a stew made with iru, a fermented bean. It is quite popular with Nigerians who like to eat with loads of pepper and are up for a challenge. The following ingredients are going to be used for the Ayamase. Meat of your choice. I'm using oxtail and cow foot. 5 medium-sized onions, 20 green tomatoes, 10 hot green peppers, 1 cup of iru, 3 tablespoons of salt. The salt's going to be used to wash the iru, 3 cups of palm oil, 5 sweet green peppers, 1 Knorr cube, and all-purpose seasoning. You're now going to prepare your meat by boiling it with 1 onion and 2 tablespoons of the all-purpose seasoning. I've put like a cup of water in it and I'm using a pressure cooker, so it's going to take about 20 to 25 minutes to boil. But if you're using a standard pot, oxtail and cow foot will take you at least an hour to prepare. The meat has been cooking on high heat for 25 minutes and is now cooked. I'm now going to wash the iru with salt, the 3 tablespoons of salt, and cold water. Now there are 2 steps to washing iru. This is the first step. Now the iru has been thoroughly rinsed with cold water, and I've rinsed it at least 3 times. And I must add at this point that iru has a pungent smell, but it adds excellent flavour to your food. And I'm now going to go on to step 2. I'm now going to sift the iru and ensure there are no small stones in it or anything that shouldn't be there. And to do this, I'm going to place it on a plate like this and just go through it meticulously to make sure there's nothing in there that I don't want. Looking good so far. The next step is to blend the onions, the sweet green peppers, the tomatoes, and the hot peppers. I've already put some in here, but you're going to need some liquid to help to blend it. So what I've done, I've taken a little bit of the stock from the meat that has been boiled. I'm going to add a little bit, just enough to help it to blend. If you don't have the stock, you can use a dash of water. Let's see if it works. Now I've started the blending process. Now I've got this base, I can now start adding more of the vegetables to this fluid. And when you're blending for Ayamase, you don't want it smooth like a smoothie. You want it to have a sort of salsa-like consistency. Now the vegetables have been blended, and this is what it looks like. We're now going to leave this to one side for now and move on to the next step. I've now put 3 cups of palm oil into the pot, and it's on high heat. Now it's going to stay here for 10 to 15 minutes until the oil gets so hot that it becomes clear. Now the oil has reached the required temperature. It's very hot, you can see it's smoking. It has been on this electric hob on high for at least 20 minutes. If it had been a gas cooker, it would have been a lot faster. I'm now going to fry the oxtail in this oil. I'm not frying the cow foot, and I've removed some of the bones from the cow foot because it's a bit too bony, but it depends on what you like. So I'm now going to fry the oxtail. Be careful at this time. The oxtail is now fried. I've taken it out. It was frying for approximately 15 minutes. I'm now going to set it aside with the cow foot, and they're going to be used later. I'm now going to fry 1 onion, and remember the iru that we washed earlier, in the same oil. Now that the onions and the iru have been frying for about 10 minutes, the guide you use really are the onions. When they reach a stage where they're brown around the edges, that means we're now ready to pour in the blended ingredients, the blended vegetables, sorry. And the key here is to make sure that when we put it in the pot, we're going to put it in the pot evenly around the pot, and we are not going to stir it, or else the mixture will start to bubble and you'll also lose the desired effect. This mixture is going to stay on medium heat for at least 45 minutes, preferably 1 hour. The stew is now dry, and what that means is that the water has evaporated. Now it's been on this electric hob for about an hour and a half, and I believe it had been a gas cooker, it would have taken less time, maybe an hour. But anyway, whatever you're using, once you reach this consistency, you know it's working. And also, as I said earlier about not stirring it, as you can see from the pot lid, it's clean. I did say bubble, but also bubbling and splashing, you don't get that. Now I'm going to add 1 vegetable knorr cube and a tablespoon of all-purpose seasoning. I'm now going to add 1 knorr vegetable cube and make sure it dissolves, or else it'll be sitting in a block at the end of the bottom of the pot. 2 tablespoons of all-purpose seasoning. Give that a stir. And now we're going to add our oxtail that we fried earlier and our cow foot. There you go. There you go. Oh gosh, that doesn't want to leave. And then we're going to stir all of this, stir it all up. And then it's going to go back on the heat. It's on the heat, but it's going to go back on the heat and simmer for about 10 minutes. And then it's done. There you have it. Food is ready. This stew can be eaten with white rice or Ofada rice, but I prefer white rice.